All right, welcome in Gemini and Gemini placements. This is your beginning to mid-August 2026 reading. So this reading goes from August 1st through the 15th of 2026. And it is intended for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. All right. So we're going to get a couple oracles and then get into tarot. As always with these collective readings, please take what resonates for you, leave what doesn't for someone else. If you're feeling that it resonates with roles being reversed, feel free to do so. And if you're feeling that it's not resonating, please check another placement. All right. So let's get into it here. Archangel Michael, Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, what do you have for Gemini and Gemini placements from August 1st through the 15th, 2026, please? What is the energy? Okay, so we've got union, reconciliation, coming back, second chance, rebuilding. And anything else? Okay. Love when they fall on the floor. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, and we've got air signs. Okay. Well, obviously, Gemini's an air sign. You could be dealing with another air sign. A Libra and Aquarius might be significant. I'll put that back here. And what else, Spirit? Okay. So 2 cards popped out. So I'm being guided to take both of them. We have justice. So legal matters, divorce, legal papers, court visit. And we also have heartstrings, mind games, taking advantage, playing with feelings, strung along. Okay. All right, Spirit. What do you have for Gemini and Gemini placements as far as overall energy is concerned for August 1st through the 15th, 2026, please? Okay, so we've got the Emperor, the Seven of Swords. What else do we have, please? Overall energy, Gemini and Gemini placement, Spirit. Okay, we've got the Three of Cups. The Page of Cups. The Hanged Man. I'm seeing one more card. Okay, and the Ten of Pentacles. On the bottom of the deck is the Star. All right, and I don't know, Freya said something about the star being here. Didn't you? All right. All right, so I'm feeling like the person that you've been dealing with, male or female, doesn't matter the gender. They've been in Emperor energy. Now, I'm getting the energy of the Emperor here, but it's more of the more negative aspects of the Emperor. Okay, it's not that positive, elevated, high vibrational Emperor. I'm feeling it's more like low vibrational in the energy. So I feel like it's someone who maybe has been acting out of pride and ego, somebody very stubborn, somebody who feels like they need to be in control. Okay, not just of their life, but also of other people's lives, or control of the narrative, the situation, the dynamic. Okay, and that all of these things most likely stem from wounding. Now, this person could also be displaying or have displayed narcissistic type tendencies and traits. Okay, where maybe they're egocentric and entitled to having whatever they want whenever they want. That kind of goes along with that issue of control. I also feel like this person might be someone that is fueled by the validation of others. So it's possible that this person could be like attention seeking as well. So they might be one of those people that, they love your attention, but they also feel that, whoever else's attention that they can, you know, get, outside of your connection, that's something that fuels their ego. All right. Take those as they resonate. I'm feeling and hearing lots of different things here with the Emperor, but I also feel like this person, whoever you've been dealing with, they might also have like a my way or the highway type attitude. Okay. So, like I said, take it as it resonates. Okay. With the Seven of Swords here, I feel like this is more, talking about, lies, betrayal, and deceit. Okay. So, this person has been in this, like I said, I'm really getting the narcissistic type energy. All right. Where they feel entitled to have whatever they want, whenever they want, and they will do whatever is necessary to get it. So this person could potentially lie. Like I said, they could potentially have deceived you. I feel like this person definitely betrayed you. All right. And like I said, it's due to them being in this Emperor energy. Now, I am feeling with the Three of Cups here that, I feel like there's a basis of friendship that you have with this person. Okay. Because the Three of Cups is a card that talks about friendship. I also feel like whoever this person is, they have a sense of strategy here with the Seven of Swords that they want to come back your way and make amends with you. All right. Now, I also am getting a sense that there was potentially a third party influence here or a third party situation at play, but we'll have to see what else comes out. Okay. So that might also be part of what the Seven of Swords and Three of Cups are talking about. But I do feel that, this person is going to maybe bring up certain things about your connection being, a friendship, or, we've known each other for so long. We know so many things about each other because, we're friends. I mean, they're going to bring up all sorts of things. Okay. And it's all going to be wrapped up in some kind of apology here, where with the Page of Cups here, like I said, they are going to try to reconcile and get back into your good graces. With the Three of Cups here, this is their strategy. Okay. And they're going to come in and reconcile now, or at least offer reconciliation. That's their goal. Okay. Now, I feel like the connection with this person maybe has been not, in this forward movement type energy. It's been kind of maybe stuck or stagnant. Maybe things, like I said, just have not been progressing with this person, or maybe there's been like a holding pattern here involved. But I do feel that, with the Hanged Man being here, that maybe both you and this other person have gotten a different perspective on things. And, the different perspective could go either way. I really do feel like whoever this is in Emperor energy, that they've realized that they really maybe don't want to lose you. Okay, so that's why they want to come back your way and offer this apology for reconciliation. But, I'm not sure, how you're feeling right now about that. Maybe you being in the Hanged Man with this person, maybe things were not, like I said, progressing, and you've come to the understanding by getting a new perspective that, I'm not sure if things will work here. We'll have to see what else comes out. But with the Ten of Pentacles, either you already have a family with this person, a family dynamic. It could be that you do have children. It could be a marriage. It could be a situation where, it's just a long-term connection. Maybe you have assets that are shared. I'm not sure what it is for you, and there could be something to be said about money and inheritance here as well. But whatever, like I said, it is for you, I feel like there's something here where you both are feeling and you felt like the other person was your person. Like this was going to be the person you were going to be with for the rest of your life. But things were not moving. They weren't moving forward. All right. So, maybe that's the perspective that you both have been getting here is that, you know, I really do want to, things haven't been moving forward, but I really do want to make it work with this person because I have always felt like they were my person and that I want to grow old with them. Okay. With the star being here at the bottom of the deck, I feel like both parties potentially want to heal things. I also feel like there is a sense of feeling inspired and hopeful for the future here as well. Okay. So, like I said, we'll have to see what else comes out here. So, as far as signs so far, we've got air, water, earth. I don't see fire just yet. Although we do have the Emperor, which is Aries energy, and that is fire. So you can consider that fire. And then we've got Aquarius energy with the star as well. Okay. All right. So, Spirit, what are the potential challenges and difficulties that Gemini and Gemini placements might be encountering for the first half of August here? What can you tell us as far as challenges and difficulties? Let's see. Okay, so we've got the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, two aces. We have the Two of Wands. Okay. We've got the King of Wands in reverse, flipped in reverse there. We have the Ace of Swords. Okay. And we have the Magician. Okay. At the bottom of the deck is the Chariot. And I just realized I took one extra card that I normally do. Okay. So with the Ace of Wands being here, I feel that you have a significant physical attraction to this person. Okay. And most likely it's vice versa. There could be a sense of like magnetism, like a magnetic pull that you have to this person. There could be a certain level of chemistry that you also have with them. There is something here that talks about passion. It talks about intimacy. It talks about like schmegsual type energy. And I feel like there is significant physical attraction, like I said, here between you and this person. So I feel like to just cut that off and move away from that, I feel like that's something that's particularly difficult. Okay. When you have those types of, feelings. Now, also, I'm feeling with the Ace of Wands being here that the idea of having this with someone else, because maybe what you have and what you felt with this person, maybe it's felt like you've never had this with anyone else before, and you're really unsure if you can even find this with another person. Will I feel this with someone else? It's something that, it's hard to even imagine at this point. Okay. Now, also, we have the Ace of Cups. And with two aces being here, I feel like this is a significant connection for you. Okay. This is, significant as far as for your soul's growth and, maybe lessons that are involved. Could also be significant as far as change within you, within your life, for this person as well. But with the Ace of Cups, I feel like, you do have a sense of love for this person. And no matter what has happened here, I feel like, part of you does want a new beginning in love with this person. And so it might be difficult to just let that go. Similarly to the Ace of Wands, I'm feeling like the idea of opening your heart up to someone else after you have gone through whatever you've gone through with this person, after feeling whatever feelings you have. It might be even difficult thinking, can I have this type of love with someone else? Do I even want to start again in love with someone else? Okay. And, with these two aces being here, as well as other things, I feel like, you do have two paths to choose from here. Which path will you decide to go down? Will you try to make things work and potentially um redo another cycle with this person? Will it be the same thing over again, or can things change? Or is it best to go down a different path? This is something you're being presented with. And that sense of being it at this threshold of this decision, I feel like this crossroads moment is going to be very difficult for you. All right. Now we do have the King of Wands in reverse here. And I do feel that whoever this person that you've been dealing with is, male or female, doesn't matter, that this has been their energy. And I feel like this, potentially is still their energy that you're dealing with. Where this person is fueled by lust, they're fueled by temptation, they're fueled by schmegdual energy. This person is extremely manipulative, and this person will do whatever is necessary to get what they want by any means. So I almost am feeling and seeing in my mind's eye the Five of Swords, that winning at all cost. This person, I feel, again, with that Emperor energy, I'm feeling the energy of someone who, it's like my way or the highway. It's that sense of, I want what I want, when I want it, how I want it. And maybe, they've been able to have this up, in their life up until now. Maybe, they've been, enabled, to have this. But whatever it is for this person, whatever it is, this person has been manipulative. I do feel with this heartstrings card here that this person has most likely played mind games with you in the past. They've maybe even strung you along where their words and actions didn't match. They could have future faked you, telling you whatever you wanted to hear, knowing that you had emotion that they could manipulate and they could pull at your heartstrings. Okay? Maybe they even used you and took advantage of you. Okay? So that is the energy of the King of Wands in reverse here. And so to feel and understand that this person has been in that energy, and to, think to yourself, well, can they change? Will they change? How long will it take for them to change? You know what I mean? The Hanged Man has been here. So I feel like, things have been stuck and stagnant here. Like there has been no progression in this connection. And it could very well be because this person has been in this energy. And so, maybe, there's a concern, will things go back to being in Hanged Man? Will this person go back to playing with my emotions, playing with my, with my mind? Are they going to go back to playing games here and taking advantage of the emotion that I have for them? So, the thing about the Ace of Swords being here, and so now, like I said, we've got three aces here. Like I said, significant as far as change. This is meant to change both your life and this person's life. this connection was something, and I'm getting chills when I'm saying this. It's significant as far as soul growth for both of you. Okay. And with the Ace of Swords being here, that I feel like this person has most likely not been open and honest and authentic with you. You know, with the Seven of Swords being here, I do feel that there was something as far as betrayal, deceit, and lie, you know, because of lying. This person was not honest with you. And I feel like you want that honesty, you want clarity here. But I feel like maybe whatever this person tells you, you don't know what to believe. So can you actually trust this person? You know, even if this person says, I want to, you know, I want to talk about things, I want to be honest with you. It's like, okay, well, how do I know that what you're telling me is the truth? You know, you want this clarity, you want this honesty, but what, can you believe them? And moving forward, can you trust them? You know, with the Magician being here, I feel like, you know, you most likely want to make things better. You know, you want to move things forward. The Magician is talking about making things happen, which is kind of the opposite of the Hanged Man. You know, the Hanged Man is that stuck and stagnant energy, where the Magician is moving things forward. It's actually moving and making progress. It's making things happen. It's not just thinking about things and fantasizing about them. It's about and praying for them. It's actually taking the action to making things work, or making things, you know, different, making changes. You know, I feel like with the Magician, you probably know that you both have all the tools needed to make these changes, but it needs it needs action on both parties' part. And you know, if you're putting in your part but the other person isn't, it's not going to work. So I feel like you know, you're trying to figure out what is best for you as far as manifesting. Should I even attempt to manifest and make changes within this connection, or should I move on? You know, it's again part of this crossroads, this two of wands. Well, two of swords could be relevant as well. Because with the Chariot being here on the bottom, I feel like, you know, there could be some kind of distance between you and this person. So with the Ten of Pentacles, even if you're married to this person, there could be energetic and emotional distance between the two of you that's getting in the way here. It could also be that, you know, maybe there's physical distance as well, especially if you don't resonate with, you know, being married to this person. Whatever the distance is, I feel like there is significant distance involved, and that might be posing a problem, you know, getting on the same page and aligning, things like that. But the idea of the Chariot as far as moving forward, I feel like it's probably difficult for you to even think of moving forward with this person, but also difficult thinking about moving forward without them. Which is why, again, you know, this Two of Wands is significant here. You know, you're at that crossroads. Okay. So let's see here. I feel like we've got all signs now. Yeah, we've got all signs. We also have Gemini and Virgo energy and Cancer energy with the Chariot. All right, so Spirit, what is your advice and guidance for Gemini and Gemini placements here in this situation? Or, for, you know, from August 1st through the 15th, what is their guidance? What is your advice here for them? All right, so we've got the Three of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Two of Pentacles. Anything else, Spirit? Let's see. Anything else? Okay, the Nine of Cups We've also have the Six of Pentacles on the bottom. After that is the Five of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. Okay, and then the Five of Swords. Okay, and you know, the Hierophant is behind that with the Two of Cups. Okay. All right. So as far as your guidance here, your advice, you know, I feel like Spirit says that, you know, focus on the future here. Okay. And focus on what you feel like you want the future to look like for you. Okay. Is the anxiety that this person has put you through, is that something that you're okay living with? Because I feel like the amount of anxiety that this person has brought to your life, I feel unless there's significant change on this person's side, that the anxiety might not be going away anytime soon. That it could be potentially where the anxiety might lessen for a little while, but I feel like things might go back to, you know, the way that they were. Okay. So, you know, what do you want as far as your future to look like? You know, are you okay with the anxiety that this person has brought to you? That's something that you're going to need to evaluate for yourself. Okay. Also, I'm feeling like, you know, this person is definitely going to reach out to you. So, Spirit says be on the lookout for communication from this person. All right, with the Eight of Wands. When that communication comes in, you know, you might feel where you're not sure about what's going on here, like what you want to do. Okay, you might be going back and forth, you know, do I want to talk to them? Do I not? And for those of you who choose that you do want to talk with them, once this conversation happens, it's like, okay, well, which direction do I want to go in? Because we have the Two of Wands and now we've got the Two of Pentacles here. Now, I also feel that with the Two of Pentacles being here, that there is the potential here that Spirit is saying that, you know, maybe this person did juggle you with other people or other things before. And if that's the case, you know, just be mindful that that was what this person had done to you. Okay. With the Nine of Cups being here, I feel like Spirit really wants you to consider and use your discernment as far as the direction you want to go and where your wish fulfillment and your heart, you know, what is in your heart? What do you feel is best for you as far as where you want, again, where you want your life to be, where you want your future to be? Is it with this person or is it somewhere else? Okay. Because I feel like, you know, this person did not treat you very well before. And I feel like even though they might have been your wish fulfillment at one point, Spirit really wants you to figure out, are they still your wish fulfillment? Does this person still deserve to be in your life? You know, what is wish fulfillment truly for you right now? Okay. And, you know, with the Six of Pentacles being here at the bottom of the deck, I feel like, you know, you really do want your equal give and take. And I feel like Spirit is saying, demand that just out of life in general, not just with this person. But I also feel, again, I'm getting this sense, you know, I don't have like the Queen of Wands or any of that came out, but with the Three of Cups, as well as the Two of Pentacles being here, and just some of the energy that I'm feeling, I am feeling like there's at least something, doesn't have to be an actual person. There's something as far as an external situation or influence that has gotten in the way here of this connection. You know, there's something here that pulled this person's energy and attention away from you, and where they were not giving you their equal effort and reciprocity. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind. You know, this person might come back and, like I said, pull at your heartstrings. Definitely make them show you with their actions if you decide to reconcile with them. But again, with the Six of Pentacles, with the Five of Wands being here, that's again what I'm talking about, that external influence here. There's something here that got in between the two of you, and I feel like this external influence is not gone yet. They're not they might tell you that this, whatever this is, it's not an issue anymore, but it's still here. Okay, there's something that's still here, and I don't know if, like I said, if it's a thing, if it's work or whatever, or if it's a person or people, but it's something that's caused conflict, it's caused drama, it's caused arguments, and it's still present. Okay, no matter what they tell you, this is still lingering, it's still present. And so I feel like whatever this is, like I said, whatever this Five of Wands is, whatever this influence is, it's holding on. They haven't, that whatever this is is still holding on to this person, and this person that you've been dealing with, they're still holding on to it. Okay, so just keep that in mind, as well as with, I was feeling this energy before, the Five of Swords. This is talking about mind games and manipulation, winning at all cost. That Emperor energy, that King of Wands in reverse energy, I feel like that's still here. It's still present. No matter what this person tells you, I feel like it's still at play here to some degree, and that this person is willing to say or do whatever is necessary to get what they want, and they want you back in their life. They want another chance. For some of you, maybe you're going through divorce or some kind of legal thing with this person. Maybe they don't want to go through that. Maybe they're losing a lot of money, and they don't want to go through this divorce or this legal issue, and so they're trying to make amends to get out of this legal issue that that you all are going through. That might just be for a few of you, but I also feel like there needs to be a balancing of the scales here, and I feel like this person is not, they might be talking a good game, but I don't feel like their actions are backing them up here, and I don't feel like their intentions are pure here as well. Okay, so keep in mind that that this external influence is still at play, it's still here no matter what they tell you, and this person is trying to win at all costs here. Okay, all right, so I am also feeling with the other cards that came out here. So we do have the Hierophant. So I feel like Spirit wants you to um, hold tightly to the standards that you have in place for yourself and your life, and make sure you don't lower your standards for this person or anyone else. Okay, and not only that, whether you have already been committed to this person as far as marriage, or or in some other way where, like I said, there's could be a divorce or legal issues or whatever. um Maybe you felt like you were committed with the Ten of Pentacles, that you thought that this person would be your person that you would grow old with. Spirit wants you to know that there's commitment elsewhere if you choose to go down that road. Okay, you do have a soulmate energy, that if you do let this go, that is potentially waiting for you. Okay, and it's something that will shock you, it's something that you probably weren't expecting, and it's something that could heal you in so many different ways, and it will bring back hope and inspiration to your life. Okay, so just be aware that it's your free will if you want to make amends with this person and reconcile, or Spirit is saying that if you decide to go down this other path with the Two of Wands, that maybe you'll be shocked but there is commitment with another soulmate here that could be a very healing connection and could heal some of the heartbreak and, you know, betrayal that's gone on here. Okay, but this person is being very strategic. I just want you to know that they're going to do whatever they can to get back into your life here, to ask you for a second chance. Um, so as far as signs, all signs are here. I'm not sure if we mentioned that earlier. We also have, yeah, like I said, we have Gemini and Virgo. Um, we have Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio energy. Just looking at the numbers, you might be seeing twos. So 222 might be significant for you. You might also be seeing fives. 55 might be significant. You might also be seeing eights. 88 might be significant as well. Okay. All right, Gemini. Well, I'm going to leave this reading here. I do hope that it helped and brought some information and some clarity for you. If you feel like it does resonate, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, take care and namaste.